Okay, so welcome to today's talk. We're going to talk about one of the remedies and taking Materia Medica series ahead. We'll talk about a remedy, Curare, today. And what is Curare? It's arrow poison, and toxicologically, it's one of the important poisons which can cause muscular paralysis without any affection of sensory nerves. It belongs to the Ignatia Naxwamica family, strychnine family, Loganiaceae. It's a dicotyledon. I'm going to talk to you about some very interesting features about it that I studied recently. So I'm reading from Allen's Encyclopedia because more and more I'm now going to the provings and understanding that if you want to understand the rubrics a little better, you need to go to the provings to understand the context of what does that remedy actually mean and what it actually feels. So in Curare, one of the states that you see a lot is a little bit of an insanity form of state. So you can see paroxysm of insanity impelling him to attack himself. He strikes, scratches, tears himself with sort of relish without feeling any pain. So this is very interesting that they can kind of be self-inflicted in that way. And foolish merriment interrupted by fright and weeping. So there's also a bit of fright in there. Fit of ecstasy at night, as if caused by hearing music. This ecstasy is interesting because Curare belongs to the Loganiaceae family, which is very closely linked to the Labiatae family, which has a lot of sexual excitement and stimulation, and you can see a connection with ecstasy. Everything he sees appears foul and nasty. um, Now comes a very interesting, polarity. So on one side you see this form of foul, nasty, tears himself, violence, dirty, and on the other side there's a feeling of fondness for luxury and grandeur. And then it's a very important symptom. He would like to go traveling in a great style. These are the kind of people who, for them, traveling and everything has a lot of style to it. It's interesting. Hmm. Aversion to society. Aversion to society. Interestingly, Dr. Sankaran has put this remedy in the leprous miasm of Loganiaceae. So gaiety mingled with sadness and sighing. So this is also a little hysterical type of remedy. Interestingly, it belongs to Ignatia family. So you can understand the sighing and the gaiety and sadness. Melancholy, egoistic, envious, obstinate, intractable disposition, brooding sadness, a lot of weeping, desire for solitude. Great despondency, become restless about himself, regrets for past, and they can almost go towards suicide. A lot of fright, excessive fear of death. Another another status in them could be they can be very wicked. They desire to lie in wait in order to assault others and even to kill and rob them. So you can see the spidery quality, little deception here of Curare. Constant ennui will waver, intellect is dull and he is guided, driven into action. Indifference to everything, intellectual. Um, Thoughts are disconnected, unfixed, confusion with sensation of as if constant delirium. These last two symptoms are mainly probably related to the paralytic state. I'm going to take you to a few interesting repertorial rubrics, which I feel you should know. And because I read from Allen's, I want to also show you a little bit from Allen's repertory. See an interesting rubric from Allen's repertory, Desire Grandeur. Interesting rubric, huh? Desire Grandeur. Delusion, everything appears foul. Interesting. And let me tell you a little bit about mind rubrics. No longer wishes for herself in nervous stability. So there's a lot of nervous debility, and when I talked about pathology, I'll tell you that how curare could be such an important remedy in GB syndrome, Guillain-Barré syndrome, company aversion to nervous debility, in depressed and nervous debility. So in motor neuron paralysis, a lot of depression, you probably can think of this symptom remedy. Despair, ulcer of an osteoarthritis, fear of falling on forwards or rising, hypochondriasis, indecision in nervous debility also. Um, Thoughts averse to in nervous debility, mania after epilepsy. This is also interesting. Yeah. Let's see some more rubrics. We'll see this time from complete record. What you need to also see is how I study the repertory and how I understand the remedy and the drug picture and the core of it and my explorations with it. Just sharing with you this journey of different remedies so that at some point you can build your own material medical. Jesus person Kent has given. This is the insane part of insane state of curare. A lot of alternating symptoms, cheerfulness with sadness. A very interesting symptom is company aversion. So definitely don't want to see people. Wants to shut herself up. Interesting. Let's say delusion. Delusion will often tell you a lot of deeper state of this remedy. Delusion, great person, everything looks foul. This is interesting because wherever there is a desire to be great, there's always a polarity that they are not great enough. Sees phantoms, shows its connection to fright, because a lot of remedies from Loganesi will look like Solanesi at some point. Delusion, neglected duty, everything is strange. Okay. Dreams, let's see the dreams. Dreams of fire in nervous weakness. Interesting. Dreams laborious. They can be egoistic. They can be egoistic. A lot of fears in this remedy. Fear of falling forward. This is more neurological symptoms. Finery, luxury, clothing desire. Grandeur desire. We spoke about this from Allen's. Grief silent, huge, so it's authentic. A lot of horrible things, sad story affect. Indolence in vaginitis. Okay. Irresolution in neurological problem, irresolution in acts, kleptomania, Kent, um, moral affection wanting. So this is another stage of curare where they just become violent and they start hitting themselves without feeling anything. Reckless also there. Talking incoherent with heat and chills. Travel desire to style, I spoke about this. Unconsciousness from pain in here. Unconsciousness, automatic conduct. Washing desire to hands constantly. Interesting, huh? Because they see everything dirty. Maybe that's why. So you see again a polarity in the mind state. Emotional state, more or less. Let's see from Boric. Typically, muscular paralysis without impairing sensation consciousness, paralysis of respiratory muscles, and that's why this could be an important remedy in later stage of COVID-like states. Reflex action diminished, so low motor neuron paralysis, debility of aged like Barita from loss of fluids, trismus, very important remedy for diabetes with motor paralysis. A lot of people have spoken about curare in cancers and weakness of cancers. Very important for diabetes and also adrenaline. Let's see what Grimmer says about cancer with a lot of weakness, extreme debility, can be compared to carbo animalis. Very chilly, was 2 a.m. Think about this remedy as well. Some interesting remedy. Constitution of ulcer of osteoarthritis. Heat with chills. Injuries and paralysis, injuries to nerves. Interesting. So this is more or less a little bit about curare. Paralysis of respiration, breath stops and falling asleep is an important symptom. a lot of numbness, a lot of weakness after continued illness. So that's why post-typhoid you can think about it. Numbness, this Pulford picture is very interesting. Numbness as if a lot of heavy weight on arms, worse attempting to lift anything, heaviness like gelsemium, with great failure of strength. So initial paresis, neuralgia, headache, right-sided, catarrh, dyspnea and emphysema, bad dyspnea. So, yeah. Some ideas. Write to me what you feel about these ideas.